Attorney General. Trump announced today that she'll be transitioning to a new job in the private sector. In other words, she's been canned. And there were a lot of reasons to fire Pam Bondi. There were plenty of moments from her ignominious career, tenure as Attorney General that you could choose from. But there was one moment that I couldn't stop thinking about today. Happened back in February when Bondi was asked in Congress why she had not prosecuted any of Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. And she said this.
This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over, the Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing.
Yeah, that Dow was in her burn book. She needed to get that comment out. The Dow is over 50,000. That's why she couldn't prosecute any of the co-conspirators in Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking crimes, because the Dow was just too damn high. Ironically, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped below 50,000 points the following day and never broke that threshold again. It's currently down about 3,600 points from that high point, thanks to Trump's war of choice in Iran. But I digress. Pam Bondi's attempt to dodge questions about Epstein by screaming about the stock market immediately turned her into a laughingstock. That moment spawned 1,000 memes across the internet, all mocking the absurdity of Bondi's failed attempt to change the subject. It even got its own viral remix.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even?
The Dow right now is over 50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. That's what we should be talking about. The Dow right now. S&P at almost 7,000. The American people need to know this. Need to know how is the Dow.
Let me address the survivors, because that's
how is the Dow.
Pretty catchy, right? And the absurdity of that moment became a perfect encapsulation of the impossible situation that Pam Bondi found herself in. Trump hated the Epstein files were getting so much attention. He called the whole thing a hoax. He wanted it just to go away. So Bondi was trying to downplay the issue out of loyalty to Donald Trump. The problem was that she had already lost all credibility on the issue, because at the start of Donald Trump's second term, Bondi teased the MAGA base by telling them that she had obtained a list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients.
And one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. Then, 5 months later, Bondi walked that statement back, saying that actually there was no Epstein client list and no files would be released. That self-inflicted wound never healed. We later learned from the Wall Street Journal that Bondi had already informed the president that his name was all over the Epstein files. And it was right around that time that Trump started publicly referring to the whole Epstein issue as a hoax. Now, by that time, Bondi was already facing backlash from a skeptical MAGA base, and she was running out of options. She couldn't release files that might implicate her boss, she couldn't credibly cover it up, and she couldn't satisfy a political base that demanded transparency. And so the Epstein file scandal spiraled out of the administration's control. The public outcry was so overwhelming, Trump was effectively forced to sign a law mandating the release of the files. That's not what she called Donald Trump being the most transparent president ever. He was forced to do that. Pam Bondi was forced to at least to pretend that she was complying with that order, even as her office delayed the release of the files and then got caught over and over again, holding back key documents that should have been released, including documents containing stunning, though unsubstantiated, accusations that Donald Trump sexually assaulted a minor. And while the Epstein files were clearly a big part of why